start the
So kudos to the
recording. And thank you, Patty. I'm going to get you to say thank you for being here. I know some of you don't like to go on camera, but I really am requesting that you do, because I really want to get to know each other. And this is a private members meeting. So I'd like you to consider coming on camera. It's that's a personal choice.
Pauline, sorry, Dr. Pauline. There's a couple of AI note takers here. Do we want them here, or do we want to?
I don't know who they are.
Well, Marty, do you
It
recognize
says
them?
read AI meeting, and I don't think that's a good idea.
No, it's not me, but you can remove those. Pauline has
you-
control of the meeting. She could just remove them.
How do you remove them?
You can just click on them, and when you hover over them, all right, there should be that 3 button that comes up on the right hand side, and then if you go there, or you can make me a co-host, right, and I'll do that for you.
Okay, let me make you co-host.
Yeah, that's a good idea. He can.
To Elizabeth Hicks is explaining here. It's Elizabeth.
Oh, okay.
No,
Elizabeth
no,
she's
Elizabeth
probably
is-
just taking
Okay.
notes.
Is Elizabeth in the meeting?
She
No,
is.
No, she's not. That's an otter.
I think what she did was she put her OtterBox in.
I'll let you.
Yeah.
I'll
It says, I am as AI assistant, help me, Elizabeth Hicks, take notes for this meeting.
Which one is this one?
Yeah, and also Carolina Isabel.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
Elizabeth
Carolyn, we know. Carolyn, we know.
Ishtiaq,
Yeah.
Elizabeth is not in the meeting, but she just put Elizabeth Hicks. She just
Right.
put a note taker in the meeting. She's
Right.
not present.
Got it. So is this the which one is this one? Read AI? Is that the okay? Read AI is Carolina. Okay, great.
It was mine. Delete it.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I don't
No,
know.
no, no.
You take
It's not,
notes. That's all.
Take them both out at the moment. Is
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
no worries.
Yeah.
Done.
because we need to get on. And I really want
Then
to
we have Dali Parekh and
thank you.
Doris. They are not on camera, but I am assuming that they are in the meeting.
Okay, so Doris, you're here. Are you here, Doris? Hello? And Dolly, you're here?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
Hi, Dolly.
Hi.
Okay, well, let's get started because I want to keep it to time. And we have 3 amazing members going to speak to us. One of whom is not here yet, but we're hoping he'll turn up. But let's start with the beautiful Carolina, who's calling in from Chile. And I really appreciate that and really appreciate you. And just before we start, Carolina, I'm just going to ask Patty if you'd like to give us a wish for today's meeting as president-elect.
My wish is that we take notes, because there are some things that were shared even before the meeting started, like it's still a man's world in some areas of the world where women don't have a voice. And
Yes.
I'm horrified to still learn that this continues. I don't know why I'm acting surprised. However, it's so, so I pray that we give a voice to everybody, that we take notes, and it's something that really resonates. Let's get together as a club and do something about it.
Thank you, Patty, and I totally concur with that.
So that's what I have to say today.
Thank you, and I totally concur with that, because I believe it's the #1 issue in the world that women are still marginalized, and that's nothing against the wise men who are present with us today. We really appreciate you, but we have to make this more apparent. And so I'm going to invite Carolina to share with us for 10 minutes about what's happening for you in Chile. So over to you, Carolina.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm Carolina. I live in Santiago, Chile. And well, I belong to Rotary Club since 10 years, Rotary Club Global. And right now I'm with you. First of all, I'm going to ask you because no, I'm going to apologize because English isn't my first language, so I'm going to do a lot of mistakes. So please, yeah, this is the first things. Well, I'm here because Pauline talked to me, and well, first I talked to her about um, quote isn't a quote that I do here in my country, and I would like to present to you, and I want support from you. For that reason, I need to tell you about my life. So I'm going to talk to you about me, what happens to me. Well, I'm a 50 years old woman who has incredible power here. I was born in a family very, very small. I have no sisters and nothing. I was raised by my grandma and my mom. And I went to a Catholic school, a very good school here in Chile. There I learned English and French. Yeah, for that reason I can speak now. And I was raped when I was 8 years. It started at my 8 and it finished when I was 20. I was raped for 3 priests for the same congregation, Catholic congregation. When I were little, I talked to my mom and my grandma, and they told me, "You are lying." And well, it was a hell for me. So I stayed mute about this all my life. I tell nobody. And a few years ago, I have a daughter, 21 years old right now. My daughter was applying to go to study to France. She's there right now. And then I sit on my porch and I see my life, how was my life. And I said to me, well, so well done. I'm an excellent professional here. I have everything I need. I do a lot of charity, well, on my own and with Rotary Club when I can. What is missing? What is missing to be free, completely free? And then was the minute that I told myself I need to tell the people what I suffered when I was a kid. So I looked for a lawyer to legal assistance. I connect some NGO here in Santiago. I talked to good friends who are famous journalists who, well, they are amazing. And I went public. I went to public TV. My name was in every mouth here in Chile. 2 weeks was horrible. Horrible for one side because the people who were around me told me, no, you can't do that. The church is a temple. You are lying. Also, I have 2 aunties. All my family is dead. I just have 2 aunties and a cousin. My aunties don't talk to me. They tell me, no, this was a secret in our family. Go away. We don't want you in our family. So, and I find a lot of walls everywhere. But for the other side, when I went public, a lot of people come to me. In 1 week, almost 150 women and men asked me for help because they were in the same situation. And I didn't know what to do with all this information. So, well, I start all the all this legal stuff here. The church said in public, we are going to do everything that we can to find the truth and blah blah blah. Well, I have 2 months later, I have the investigation that the church did, who said, yeah, you were right, we apologize, God bless you, that's all. I have the same letter from the Pope. And I tell myself, why? Well, my first abuser is Gerardo Joanon, who was condemned in Chile for baby trafficking. And he's still a priest. He lives with a woman. And well, that is unbelievable. And plus, he lives 2 blocks from home. And I saw him every day. Well, I have had a lot of represalias, a lot of stuff. For example, they cut the brakes of my car. They sent me blood of chickens at home. It was a hell, really a hell. Right now is the same. Well, when I went to my first lawyer, I found that all the lawyers that have the knowledge of the church, well, here in Chile, are paying in backside from the church. So they do nothing. They do nothing. My second lawyer found an agreement with the church who paid me some therapy for 1 year, and that's all. That's all. And I start to find some different paths. What can I do for the other people that don't have the resource to pay for lawyers or to pay or claim for justice? And I know a lot of people. Well, this is a very sad situation here. So when with a good friend who he was raped too, we start to do something like coach with those victims in a small state, and it works. It works. We call the coach, but isn't a coach, isn't therapy, isn't a class. It's like AA, when we put together the people who suffer the same, and we just hug them, hear them, and we are with them in this journey. Because for the people who were abused, I know I have two big issues. First, I need to break the patron. I need to say, stop, I don't want to be abused anymore, not by men, at work, in relationships, etc. This is the first things we need to work. The second one is, it wasn't my fault. It was the fault from the predator, not mine. And the third one, that for me is the most important, we need to support the family, because the family has a big hole in her hearts, because they say, why I didn't see it? So, well, we start with Oscar, this coach. I'm going to call them coach, almost a year ago. And we find good, very, very, very good soluciones. We find that we can help people, and we help them, and we are with them all the time. And well, we do that for free. There is no charge for anyone. And well, this is why I talked to Pauline, because I would love it to do it more high, in a big way, in a I want to go to more people. For example, try it with a class for 10 people with 3 coach facilitators, as we call us. Me, Oscar, and Felipe, the 3 of us, we were working with that a long time ago, and we have the skills. So, well, that's why I'm here. That is
Thank
a
you.
resume. Yeah.
Well, that was exactly 10 minutes. And I really appreciate your sharing, Carolina. And it's our heart goes out to you and all the women in the world and all the countries in the world where this is perpetrated, because we know, sadly, it's happening so many places in the world. So it's our heart goes out to you. But we need to, I want to applaud your bravery for going public, because this is what we need to do, is to really face up. And so in terms of that sharing, I think we as a group, we want to share more. We need to keep this story and make sure that all the Friends of Rotary and all our members really understand this as not just a personal story, which it is, but it's happening everywhere. And I do believe that we need to stop things, but we need to also start something totally new. So I'm just going to invite any questions right now from the rest of you. Who would like to ask a question or make a statement? Patty, would you like to share?
I was thinking, because I have 2 young adult daughters, and how does she feel in regards to your safety? And I know that's a personal question. I really do thank you for sharing, because these stories break everybody out of their barriers of their, and I wrote down a slogan that I've heard before: victim to victor. And this is exactly an example, being a victim to victor. There will be victory, and I thank you. And again, how does your daughter respond to your safety with this journey? Y te lo puedo decir en español también. Si tu
Perfecto.
hija se pone nerviosa cuando te amenazan, ¿no? Con las cosas que estás haciendo, y even con la familia. Y ya sé que es muy delicado la pregunta, pero
No, está bien, está bien. Well, my daughter,
gracias por explicarnos.
no, she freaked out. So the first things I did was I took her and told her, Julia, here's money, pay your rent, go out, leave me alone here. And then we agilized everything so we can go out to the country. They don't know where Julia studies right now. So she's safe. So I'm safe. And well, this hurts because she's my life. And I see her just once in a year or so. Yeah. You know, that hurts, not the abuse, but it's a consequence. But I'm happy because she's safe.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Carolina. Is there anybody else would like a comment at this moment?
Yeah, I had a question for the ladies.
Marty, and then Ritu.
So it's been expressed to me oftentimes in an angry, bitter voice to shut my mouth as a man, and not every woman is going to be able to go to the police or to report what happened, and that you don't understand why some women will not and cannot ever have this come out. And for me, it's very difficult to put these men in their place in an orange suit and have them imprisoned. You know, it's very, very difficult to deal with being told in a vehement manner, you don't understand why many women can't and will never come. I'm like, oh, okay. Because these repeat offenders, I hate to mention this, but in 30 years from now, when they rape your daughter, because we never did anything about this freak human criminal that we know now has done this to 19 girls. All of you, all 19, are refusing to do anything about it, and we don't want to be involved with it, and stop contacting us, Marty. And now we find out 30 years later, he's raped 6 more young girls. So where and when does the anger stop from women about, you don't understand why I can't come out with this and never will? And what is the best solution? Because I don't know what to do about it if we can't put these people in prison. It's very, very frustrating for me to let these criminal rapists get off the hook. It's very frustrating for me.
It is. And I think that one of the challenges we have is this difference between what we stop and what we start, because we do have to stop the bad guys or the bad girls. I mean, there are sadly some women who are not good as well, but we do need to start a very amazing conversation which puts this all out of the window. Ritu, have you got a question? Because I've also got Dolly.
Yes, thank you, Pauline. Thank you, Pauline. First of all, I want to congratulate Carolina. This takes a lot of courage. You are strength. You are example for many. You are sacrificing. You are, in many ways, you have been your well-being, your emotional well-being, your well-being of your daughter, and the consequences are generation long. I have come across many, many women who say that it's just not this person who suffered, is the entire family goes through consequences. Marty, to the comment that you made, I know it angers us, but a lot of women are helpless because if the perpetrator is a powerful person, even law, as Carolina mentioned, the attorneys would not do much, So that is the reality of our world. But we need to keep those strong voices coming out, like Carolina's, like Marty's. Let's talk about it. Let's educate people and create those positive male voices, amplify them, and find strength together as she's doing in her community. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely. And this is part of what the positive masculinity movement is about as well. We need to shout louder on that. Dolly, you got your hand up. Dolly? Yeah.
Yes, I just definitely want to kind of congratulate Carolina. You're super, super brave. It is commendable for the sacrifices you've made, but continue to voice and be here with us to kind of continue to share this, looking for answers, looking for a solution. I've shared a similar journey, and my awakening about me not being wrong versus the perpetrators being wrong came when my girls were 17 years old, and I realized that it wasn't my fault, but the society made me believe that it was. So it is challenging, and do not lose hope. The more you talk, the more of a movement it will become. And to the similar perspective, I recall that when I first came to this realization that this was wrong, and it happened around a time when I was talking in a retreat at my workplace, and shared, because they were like, share your life journey. And then when I do share the life journey, it made everybody uncomfortable, and it went into my feedback of a negative EQ for sharing something that wasn't comfortable for others. So yes, our society is not ready to hear the real truth or the real journey of women and victims of rape or molestation. And the more we talk, it gives less empowerment to the people who are perpetrators. So please do continue, and we're all here for you, and a huge hug to you.
Thank you, Dolly, and absolutely concur with that. Quanta, do you have a quick question?
Yes, I really thank you for coming and talking about your mission. I lived in Chile and traveled all the way from La Serena down to Valdivia, so I love Chile.
Oh.
And it was a beautiful country. I want to say that, you know, you were mentioning it's a man's world. Well, man wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the woman that gave him birth. So therefore, it's not man's world, it's our world. And so that's one thing. And the second thing is that United Nations did not even ratify rape in wartime, that the soldiers that take over a country feel free to rape the women and the girls because their commanders tell them that's okay to do so. So while we are working from local to global, I think we need to get involved in organizations that are international. And man like Marty, and I really admire all the things that he said. Good for you, Marty. So now you have to get man be in the forefront in this issue because women don't have to fight. It should be the decent man that should be in the forefront fighting for the rights of women to be free from violence. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Quanta. And this is my life work, is to bring about authentic harmony in the world. And I don't believe we'll ever have peace in the world if we don't have peace between men and women. And a lot of the time it's because we just don't really understand what our difference is. And we don't have those conversations that we need to both police the situation, but also uplift it and be inspiring about the new way of being. I wrote an article the other day about modern chivalry. I think that's something which is sadly lacking, that we lack even just decent manners. I would encourage you, Carolina, to come along to my wisdom circle, because all of you at the wisdom circle, we're talking about this, and we're talking about how we can take this message to a higher influential place and find the right people in the world, as well as our members here, and Marty and Shankar and Aaron and Isiak. We really honor and admire you as the men in our mix. Thank you. But we also need to find influential men in the bigger arena, ideally in politics, but I think that's a far call, but that's my thought. I'm going to move on because we want to also honor you, Carolina, but I want to honor Ritu to talk about women as well, and then to have Aaron come in with a different perspective. But we're here to support you, Carolina, and anything you need, always come and ask us. And please come to the Wisdom Circle and be part of the positive masculinity movement as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ritu.
Yes. So my passion project, it just kind of takes a little twist to bring women in the forefront, but women are at the foundation of it. And what I like to talk about is the raising leaders of tomorrow. And today's topic, how I align that so closely with the sustainable goal, because that is local to global and global to local, both ways. And before I get into the importance of the SDGs and the leadership, I want to take a couple of moments and just talk about the strength of, and the power of women and how we can do bigger and better impact, not only on our social global local level, but at a global level. First of all, women women contribute more than 48% of the GDP of the world, from paid, unpaid work, from agriculture to aerospace. Women are everywhere. Women contribute to the prosperity of families, financial means, and women are part of every corporate culture. So we are behind the successful male leaders. There is no competition here. I support men, women collectively working together. So with that said, we as women, the givers of life, we give birth to men, boys and girls. We raise them to be men, grow up to be men and women. We as givers of life have a lot of power, but our powers have been suppressed over the centuries in every culture equally. It's not fair in the 21st century where our humanity is looking for life in space and other planets, and we haven't improved the life of our own fellow beings who are the givers of life. So that is very strange for me to kind of comprehend sometimes, but I stick to my topic of how we can do a better job of collaborating with men, bringing men to the table, finding ways to work together, and finding that for collaborative men, positive men, strong men who understand our issues and who can be voice and who can be supporters. So with that said, I want to move to my passion project. Why sustainable goals are important. Sustainable goals are addressing the global challenges, not a local challenge, not a single country or single nation. They are, world has become a connected place. There's so many interconnected issues, including poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, and more, which is so visible. No matter how we feel about environment or what's real or not, let's set aside but see that what we are seeing, forest fires, the landslides, and ocean pollution. Let's just look at those as so visible. They cannot be made up. And why that is becomes important, because we are in a connected world. We share services and products. Food comes from one country to another. Consumable items are traded across the planet. That's why we are interconnected. We need to take a different look at addressing global challenges. Next, promoting equity and inclusivity. I can talk all day on it. I would stay simple, is that SDG goal about promoting equity and inclusivity is about leaving no one behind. And there is win-win for everyone, regardless of what level we are, because if we don't have the resources to buy the products and services of the few fortunate ones who control the world finances, look at what would be the impact. Moving on to the environmental stewardship. And my take, and I apologize, I do not mean to offend anyone. I'm very open in my expression that we should not just depend on government and corporations to take care of us or set up policies and we do nothing. It is our responsibility. Our planet is our responsibility. We have equal share in it. Stand up and take your role and do whatever small effort we can do. Teach our children, teach our fellow beings, show by example what we can do to take ownership of clean water, sanitation, affordable and clean energy, the responsible consumption, conscious consumerism, using reusable items. That's the simple things that we can do to prevent and preserve planet's ecosystem. The economic growth and prosperity, I think we all agree that we each family at each individual level or a family level, our prosperity is essential to not just us, but also our corporations who rely upon it, our government relies upon our taxes and stuff. If we don't have the means, we cannot support them. We cannot buy products and services, pay taxes, etc. So it's in a goal where SDGs they look at by addressing to improving education, poverty, and promoting decent work. The next one is the peace and security. Some SDGs, such as promoting good governance, reducing inequality, and ensuring access to education, peace building efforts, stabilization, especially where there are wars, refugees, and conflicts, promote peace. So that's the conflict is not just by wars, but there are many factors contributing. In the interest of time, I just wanted to touch base on that and global collaboration. I am very strong supporter of collaborations. Either they are in our conversation, in our actions, in our work, or at inter-society level or international levels. These small acts of collaboration, we start looking at the bigger picture of humanity, how we are connected. As I talk about the ancient cultures have given us many principles. Vasudha Kutumbakam, which is the G20 was one of the major logo, Earth is a family. This concept of Earth is a family is more important than ever as we see. We've spent more time with our colleagues in a given day than we spent with our family members. Our colleagues at work become our family, so to speak. We, as I already talked about, that we share products and services from one country to another, interconnected world. So the Earth is a family. If we start looking at that, the other fellow beings, their well-being is equally important to us to promote that thought and harmony as a global family. Continuing long-term planning, the sustainable goals are all about long-term planning. And in long-term planning, let's talk about for a moment young parents who are raising young boys and girls who will become our leaders of tomorrow. Right now, in a corporate workplace, we have 6 generations. Baby boomers who are leaving, pretty much ready to leave workplace, and the Gen Zers who are entering in. There's 6 generation in a workplace. Baby boomer generations, the millennials within a let's talk about the baby boomers who have an outstanding experiences of decades is going to go into hiding when they leave workplace, where younger generations growing up in nuclear families with the devices, lack of many critical skills that they need are missing from that mentorship. So in a long-term planning, how do women especially need to bring that closer, the men and women collaboration where we bring those talented people to pass the baton and teach them with the leadership skills, because the leadership for tomorrow and next 20, 30 years is going to be very different than 100 years ago or 50 years ago. Those timeless values of leadership that worked in 1950s will not work in 2050. Again, the SDGs talk about human rights and dignity, and we can go on in those, but you get the message what I'm bringing in up front. Future generations, sustainable goals talk about the future of the planet, future generations, and the time is now. The time is now that we all take action, not just women, men. We are part of the family, we're part of the society, we're part of the community, we're part of the workplace. We need to find ways to work together.
Absolutely. Thank you. Again, well timed on 10 minutes. So many interesting messages there. And thank you, Ritu. And I really applaud the growth, the width and scope of what you were talking about. And there are so many issues that are interrelated in terms of changing systems and really looking at the very holistic, and the time is urgent. I'm afraid when the guy who, Antonio Guerreras, or whatever his name is, who runs the United Nations, said that gender equality had gone back 300 years, I refuse to believe that. I think that's a load of baloney. I think that we need to step up and say, no, it's now. Women are not fighters, women are nurturers, men are fighters. And that's okay too. We just got to learn how to understand a new system and a totally new landscape. And I could talk about this forever as well. So I'd love to know if anybody would like to ask Ritu a question. I'm watching the time because Aaron is going to come and talk to us as well. So who would like to ask Ritu a question? Carolina, do you have a question or no? Anybody?
I had a question for Ritu.
Yes.
Yeah, Ritu, how do you feel about the future, of sharing with women and realizing after the long period of suppression that many women engaged in this that are still alive today that feel that it's wrong and inappropriate for women to be talking out loud, and have even challenged me to my face and said, Marty, you have got to stop what you are pushing and promoting. I can never, Marty, be the chairlady of the Tourism Development Authority for the state of North Carolina. My husband would kill me. It's not allowed in my church, Marty. Okay. And you've got to stop this agenda. I cannot accept your nomination. I cannot do this job. I'm like, but come on, you run a whole restaurant. You own a whole restaurant. You're very successful. You're great at what you do. You boss people around all day long. This is just a municipal. It's a state like authority based, thing. And I was just so shocked. What should we do about this, Ritu, these women?
So, Marty, the future, your question, so what's the future? So, future, we always need to keep an optimistic look, and where we are, where we have come, where we were. Look at in the past, the history of the cultures. Women have been worshipped as goddesses, to have been sex slaves, and everything in between. So we cannot deny the facts, but we cannot live in a narrowed ideas of what the role of the women should be.
Yes.
We don't say what the role of the man should be. Why should men have that power to say what the role of women should be?
I agree, Ritu.
And so the example you just shared is not the capability of a woman to take that role. She's capable of. She is not ready to take that conflict inside the household because her husband is not ready. She is ready. So who is here needs to be trained more. So that's the thing, is that as we have this open conversation, as Dr. Pauline and I talk about it quite a bit, when we bring in men into the mix and opening up that dialogue, and a young mother's training boys and girls, the language of equality. That's why I love talking about sustainable goals so much, because if you really study about them, they touch us on a personal level, not just as a big agenda of a global entity. If we bring them down to our people power, then people power comes within each individual, that is a man and a woman, right? Each individual, that people
Absolutely.
power comes within everyone. And that's
Absolutely.
my 2 cents here.
And we talked about this so much as well, Richard, didn't we? But I think what is great is that we've got a new member that Marty's been talking to today, who's another woman, which is great. So as a club, this is why I want to encourage everybody. And when the replay goes out, not enough members are turning up. So we need more members to actually come to our meetings. And it is one of the challenges with being an online club. I went to a local club here, and of course, I'm going to an event tonight, which is a local Rotary group. When you get a local group together, you see each other face to face. So no offense to everybody who's not on screen, but I find it really difficult when I can't see your face. And that's just a personal thing. I'm on Zoom all the time. I always put the camera on. It's about eye to eye, face to face. If we could all get in the room and hug each other, we could change the energy of the world. If we could all dance together, I love dancing, but there are things that we can do. Farah knows this in Malaysia. When we ran programs in Malaysia, we'd have music and dancing in the room in between the class content. We've got to get more active. And that's where I really admire what Carolina is doing, actually being public about difficult, sensitive issues. And we've got to keep more conversations opening up. And we do listen to all of you guys, Isiak and Aaron and Shankar here as well, speaking up, please, for men. I suggested that women empowerment is not the right word. Women empower men, take the T off the end. Women empower men. We invite a women-centric view of the world to invite men to a new landscape. And maybe just one challenge with the social development goals is that it's stuck inside a very antiquated organization that runs by process and policy. But I am not going to dwell on that just now. That's just a thought. We need to change the system. Women are nurturers. Men are beautiful providers. We do things differently, and together we come together. So I'm delighted for the last 10 minutes. We only have 10 minutes, Aaron. I'm going to invite Aaron to give us a little view about what he's excited about is a project that he's been looking at. And there he is. So we invite you, Aaron, to share your male view about, dare I say, a male project.
No, it's it's not a male project. It's an academic program that I'm putting together with a fellow Rotarian who's a member of the Crystal City Pentagon Rotary Club. We're calling this program Launch Point. So it's going to involve bringing a mobile lab to high schools and university campuses and teaching kids how to build and fly drones, rudimentary programming and machine learning. For instance, when I was a kid, my dad was showing me how to build balsa wood airframes, and we were building and flying RC aircraft at a young age and playing with solderless circuit boards and stuff like that. And because I was exposed to it at a young age, I've always been interested in aerospace and science and technology, you know? So the idea is to get kids' faces out of roadblocks and Twitch and Instagram and get them into something a little more positive. You know, like learning about science, and these emerging technologies are going to be opportunities for them that they could turn into careers, you know, instead of inspiring to be Instagram famous or whatever. That's fairly toxic. In fact, I feel that stuff has been weaponized to keep this younger generation down. And it's just unrealistic goals of becoming a millionaire by creating content on the internet, and or they could be millionaires by learning how to program or do something with science. So we've already talked to the deans and assistant deans and senior faculty at a local college. We're about to get on with Penn State. We're building some partnerships and laying down the groundwork for this project. We're calling it Launch Point. And, you know, of course, it's going to be a Rotary project between our club and Crystal City Pentagon. So that's pretty much all I got. We've already got, you know, some of the logistics figured out. And once we get like a point paper put together, then we'll go for, you know, in partnerships, then we'll start going for like fundraising events and stuff like that to get the initial funding.
So I'm going to ask you a question, Aaron. Thank you for sharing. I think it's wonderful that we are getting the younger generation away from their telephones and their Instagram and that sort, and getting into science. And presumably this is boys and girls equally interested. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So where do you see the young generation that you're working with? Where do you see their insights to the future as different to maybe than what we've been talking about?
Well, I feel like they're so ingrained in consumerism and social media that they are, in a sense, lost. Like the Gen Zs, they're a little lost, and they're different. I mean, it's not like just getting. Not everybody's going to be into technology, but there's other ways we can do some outreach to them and try to guide them towards the light, instead of this horrible mess of just blind consumerism and, this weaponized social media. It's just horrible.
Well, I would agree. So do we have any questions for Aaron about the weaponization of social media? I think that's a very interesting breakpoint in what we've been talking about.
I would just like to echo, what he's saying is, yeah, I mean, there is a large problem now, even with employers saying that Gen Z and millennials often don't know how to do a lot of the things like Excel, documents, Word setup, correct and full correspondence in the accepted manners, from to the date. They were never taught how to do these things. The skill set is more of a voyeur, which is what Aaron is saying, is put upon them. Just consume, watch, view, and the hardcore skills that we're taught to primarily, they're figuring out now, Gen X was who it rained down hard on after the hippies were finished. And this is the first time in human history, I would also like to add to what Aaron is saying, the first time in Earth history that 5 generations have simultaneously worked in the workforce. So we've never experienced this before. And that generally starts down here with the silent generation. These are World War I people. Earth has never experienced 5 generations, and some dispute and say, well, it's 6, but we've never seen this before. And so that in itself is a strong wave of get-alongism. How do we get along? How do we harness? How do we encourage? And I think that's what Aaron's admirable efforts with our sister club. And with that, I would just end today by saying, I know Pauline, our new president, wanted to sign a sister club, a twin club. Our twin is online today from Silicon Valley, Dali Parikh.
Yes.
We wanted to add another twin club, and I think we should sign a twin club with Pentagon, because we're doing so much with them.
Yes.
And recently we had many members attend a Virginia event together with
Ashburn. That was a great event.
Yeah, Aaron went to Ashburn. A bunch of our members went. They tried to recruit our members. Hey, do you want to join us? They were like, not really, bro. We're going all around to all kinds of meetings all over the world. And the last order of business I had to put forward today was, of course, the notion on the floor of a Rotaract club in Somaliland. Abdi Rashid Mahmoud Ali has left the United States. He's headed back to Somaliland right now. It's about a 2-day journey at many airports and layovers and stuff. He's not flying direct first class for 9,000. So when he gets there, his intent is, and I sent all the documents yesterday, to establish our first Rotaract club. So please think about that. I'm going to be advancing that forward. I know we've been talking about it for months, and a lot of you met him. Thank you.
That's great. So we can open the Rotaract Club. We can also look at twin clubs with David Douglas in Accra and with Pentagon, is it? And also maybe we can help Carolina find more Rotary support in Chile. Is that something that we could help you with? Is that possible, Marty? I think that's something we can maybe help you research. I don't know whether you've looked into that. Patty.
I'm sure you can go to
Yeah.
DAC TV and just start looking for clubs, right? Marty?
Sorry, that I couldn't hear that. There was a disturbance.
He went into the matrix for a second with some warble. I think what he was saying was go on to Rotary.org. We go on to Rotary.org in a joint private session with Carolina in a Google Meet or a Zoom. And I think what we should do is spend an hour drumming up the most powerful women in Rotary that live there. And then we link all that up with her. So if anybody wants to join in that 1 hour session, let us know.
Yes. Okay. Patty, you've got your hand up.
I just wanted to note that if you're in the Friends of Rotary on WhatsApp, I just shared an easy peasy link to the youth program, the youth protection program, because if you're going to do any Rotaract work, I think it's important that you get your certificate. So I was able to get my certificate and I shared the link, but it's in the Learning Center on the Rotary International website. But sometimes people are like challenged by so many links and finding the right place to go. So I just made it easy and I put it in the Friends of Rotary for the youth protection.
Okay, that's great. And one of the things I'm just going to suggest, because that's prompted me, is that we need to use the members WhatsApp group as well as the Friends of Rotary, because that's where I get very confused. There's not many people looking.
Okay, I'll share it there too. I just don't want to spam.
Yeah, because member to member, the Friends of Rotary, there's 136, there's 36 members. We need to work out why there's this differential and also understand more messages in the members, so we support each other, support Carolina, support whatever is going on now. Thank you all. I need to go because I have another urgent meeting to attend, but I love what we've done today. I hope this has supported you, Carolina. Thank you, Ritu, for sharing what you've shared, and keep on asking the questions that you need, Carolina, of us in the members group. Please put it in the members group, not the Friends of Rotary, because you can put it there as well. But in the members, there's only 36 members. I sent the invite to today to every single member in the members, and still we don't have 36 people here. So I want you to think about how we can encourage everybody to come, excluding time zones. But Farah's here from Malaysia, so everybody can be here because Farah and I are the furthest apart. Thank you, Farah, for being here. I appreciate. And
Thank you,
because you're far away. So let's make sure we stop the violence, that we start the conversations about being proactive, finding the influences, making the change to systems. Take care, all of you, and be good. And
Take
be
care,
humble.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you.